Now, Salma Hayek, so nice to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, you're from Mexico.
Exactly.
And I actually speak a poco of Spanish. So I wondered, how would I say, let's start the show en español?
Bueno, pues puedes decir muchas cosas. Lo importante es que hagas que tu público se sienta bienvenido y se entusiasme y tenga ganas de ver tu programa. Y cuando estés listo, cuando sientas que la energía ha subido y que todos están desesperados por verte, entonces les puedes decir, empecemos el programa.
Bueno. Let's start the show! Buenas noches. Good evening. Hey, it's Friday night. Yes, it is. It's the weekend. It's 3 weeks to the EU referendum. So excited in here, ladies and gentlemen. So excited. The debate has reached fever pitch, hasn't it? Real fever pitch. Lots of debate about immigration this week. Some people think we should bring in an Australian-style point system. Now, any Australians in tonight? There's always Australia. Hello, where are you? There you are. Hi. I have to say, you've done a great job of keeping people out of your country. You know. You filled it with poisonous animals, put it miles away, and you live there. So it's all, yeah. Bong, bong, bong. Of course, if the Brexit camp wins, then Boris Johnson could end up being the next Prime Minister. But don't worry. I don't think there's anyone more sensitive to the feelings of ethnic minorities. Really? But hey, who are we relying on to our sacred British sofa tonight? Well, later we'll have music from Alicia Keys. Yes! But first, he's one of the funniest things to come out of Wales. Star of Would I Lie to You, Live at the Apollo, and Work Experience, now scouring the country to find the UK's best part-time band. It's Rhod Gilbert, everybody! Woo! Hello! Hello, sir. Lovely to see you. Sit, have wine. This British actress has gone from Black Books to Green Wing to the hugely successful Episodes. Now she's here with her latest comedy caper, Breaking the Bank. It's Tamsin Greig! Yay! Sophisticated lady, look at you. Hello, darling. Lovely to see you. Come in, Rhod, Tamsin. This multi-award-winning actor starred as Dr. Fraser Crane for 20 years and, amongst other roles, has lent his unmistakable voice to Sideshow Bob in The Simpsons. Now he's gone all British in Breaking the Bank. Please welcome for the first time, Kelsey Grammer! Yeah! Wow! Hello, sir. Lovely to see you. Oh, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. That's who that is. And from her breakout role in Desperado to her Oscar-nominated turn as Frida Kahlo, this actress has become one of Hollywood's most dazzling leading ladies. And now her new film, Tale of Tales, is getting rave reviews. Please welcome Salma Hayek! Hey, hello. Thank you for coming. Seriously, we appreciate it. Come and get... You've met everybody. What a jolly sofa. Very good. Nice to see you all. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, there's an odd thing on the couch. I don't think we've ever had this before. But Salma and Kelsey, you've got an odd connection.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's elaborate.
Salma bought a home I owned years ago. And
did you know it was his house?
Yes.
Yeah, at the time.
I still have it.
Do you? I was going to ask if you still have it.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful place. I loved it. And there was a little bit of controversy around it, but it's all worked out lovely.
Did he leave it nice?
Yes.
Oh, it was a great home.
And he left it in very good shape.
Yeah. Did he take the light bulbs?
Oh, no. I think you did.
Now, Rhod Gilbert, thank you for being here. And it's very nice of you to be here because has your appearance tonight caused trouble at home?
no.
Are you trying to tell him something?
No. I believe somebody else told him something.
Yeah, no, it's my wife's birthday, yeah. Oh, look at them! Oh. Yeah, it's my wife's birthday. To be honest with you, I've sort of promised her some... it involves you, Salma, I'm afraid.
You're taking Salma home for her?
Well... I didn't guarantee that, but I did sort of... No, because I said... the Graham Norton show have rung, you know, and she said, who? I explained.
He was only pretending.
They said, will you do it? And I said, of course, I'd love to do it. I said, the only problem is my wife's birthday. So I said to my wife, do you mind if I do it? She said, can I come? And I said, well, if you do, that's your birthday present. So I've sort of...
That's so cheap. Something.
It's not that cheap.
Flowers.
I've promised her an hour with you in the green room after. You are the birthday present.
Now, and Tamsin, obviously in episodes you work with Matt LeBlanc, a big sitcom star, but Kelsey, arguably the most successful sitcom star of all time.
Well, arguably, yes.
Well, yeah, OK. Let's just go with he is.
All
he
right.
is. Was it intimidating or was it all fine? Was it just actors?
After Matt LeBlanc... I said to my agent, I only want to work with even bigger stars. What's bigger than Kelsey? I don't know. Who can we get next?
There's several. It's all right, but not many.
It's not intimidating because he's an incredible gentleman. He's very warm and appreciative and very supportive and very funny and also very close to tears all the time. So I don't have to do...
That's true. I do live that way, yes, I do. On the verge of tears almost
All the
always.
time. I can
My
see
wife
them
knows.
now.
She's over there. She knows that, you know, I cry at the drop of a hat. She calls it gin. And half the time she's right.
Now, Salma, you have a new movie, Tale of Tales, and it's an extraordinary film. It's a retelling of classic Italian fairy tales. And for a British audience, if they think, oh, we know what fairy tales are like,
no.
These are bonkers tales.
Yes, don't take your children, please.
No.
Whatever you do, do not take your children to see this one. It's very dark, but it's really beautiful, visually exuberant, and just interesting, unique, different.
Yes, because you start watching it, what the hell is going on? And then once you're in the mood of the film, it really carries you along. They're amazing, the stories. Yes. So talk us through the tale that you're involved, because there's 3 tales.
Yes, my tale is about motherhood, and I am a queen. I was so excited because the closest I got to be a queen was to be the queen of the drug cartel in Savages. When you're Mexican, you know, it's kind of hard to get that role. And who is very sad because she cannot have children. And she's willing to do anything in order to conceive a child.
So
fairy tale stuff.
You want me to continue?
Well, you can tell us a bit about, because we can know how she got with child, can't we?
Yes, one of the parts of the ritual, the many things, the things we had to do was we had to kill a, sea dragon, and then I had to eat the heart of this dragon that had to be cooked by a virgin, which was really difficult to find even in those days. And by eating this heart of the dragon, I was gonna conceive the baby, which is not as fun as the normal way, but she was desperate and it was disgusting.
But that all happens in about the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we've got a still of you eating the heart. Now, what was that? Because it looked because it's still almost...
It was disgusting. I still don't know, because when you ask the Italian, they asked me, what are you allergic to? And I told them, and then when it was the time, I said, what's in it? And they said, you're not allergic to it. I said, okay. But what's in it? And they said, many different things. And I said, yeah, but what things? Things that you're not allergic to. And that's it. But I kept, every bite, I would find different textures and things and flavors, and at some point I was convinced I was eating a worm, and I said, you must tell me what is this? That's spaghetti. So the artery of one of the arteries inside of there was spaghetti, but anyway, I don't want to repeat that recipe. I will never cook it for anyone.
Now, you filmed it in Sicily and Tuscany.
And Tuscany, yes. The food was so good.
Oh, well, apart from your heart.
Yes,
obviously.
apart from the heart.
Sea monster heart. No, don't.
Yeah.
But when people travel, you know, they collect things, postcards, dolls in national dress, but you collect, like, animals, like living animals.
Well, no, I don't collect them. I rescue them.
Oh, okay. So,
rescue
did you rescue anything when you were in Sicily and Tuscany?
Not in that one, but in the movie I did right after, in Bulgaria, I did.
Okay.
And I had promised my husband I was going to stop because at the time I had 10 dogs, 5 parrots, I had alpacas, horses, cats, and by the way, one without a tail, the other one without a leg, you know. And they find me, they come to me, these animals, which he doesn't believe me, but they do, and I promise him no more, okay? We were up to 30 animals. I swore no more. And I was there, and a little puppy who was abandoned and was gonna die. I won't tell you the sad story because it's a comedic show and I'll start crying. He came to me and I couldn't help it and I picked him up. And his name is Ochoa, after the goalie of the soccer team in Mexico. It was a World Cup. And I took him and then I was terrified. How am I going to explain this to my husband? I promised. And so I came up with this brilliant idea to pretend that I was having an affair. And then,
Ochoa.
no, with somebody, to make him think I was having an affair, and at the end I would say, no, it's not an affair, I picked up a dog, and then he would feel better. That I picked up a dog.
This is clever. It's a good plan.
So I left him a message, you must call me at this time, we need to talk, it's very important. And I never do that, and this time, okay, what happened? And I said, listen, I feel so terrible. I don't know how to say this to you. And I know this is not going to go down well, and I'm really nervous, and please have mercy on me. Have patience, be understanding. It's been so stressful, and I'm so tired, and I was so lonely here for so many days, and you know, you do crazy things when you're in this state. And he said to me, oh, please don't tell me you picked up another dog.
He knows you well.
So sad that I was so predictable.
But now, talking of dogs, famously, Eddie, the little Jack Russell in Frasier, and we all fell in love. Everyone loved that Jack Russell. But apparently you, I mean, not you didn't like him, but you were kind of...
I actually liked him quite a bit. The person that didn't like him was John, the one that played my dad. He was terrified of him.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Whenever he sat on his lap, the dog bit him. So,
very dangerous
he was
place
not
to
a pleasant
start
animal.
biting.
Yeah, right.
But did it annoy you all on set that dog must have got so much attention?
It annoyed me no end. But only this, because there was... we had a director for a while who was a guest director. We booked him to do maybe 3 shows. And somewhere in the middle of that number, he turned to the dog and said, Eddie, action. Said, you're fired. I've never heard anything like that in my life. You're out. So, and now I was never really that mean, but in this case I was.
It's a dog.
It's a dog. He doesn't understand action.
On the action thing, you said that you didn't understand action. I worked on it. My first ever time on screen was I was in my 20s. I'd never done anything on stage or screen before, and I went along to the job centre, and they sent everyone, all the waifs and strays, all of us. They sent all of us to be film extras in a Welsh film that was filming nearby, and off we went and got our 30 quid for the day.
Oh, it was a Welsh dog then, in that case?
No, this is a horse. This was a horse.
Yes.
This was a horse, and the horse's job, all he had to do was walk through the back of the shot. It was a period drama. And every single time the director shouted action, I kid you not, the horse got an erection. And every single... And there was this little guy whose job it was, it's the little guy whose sole job it was, as far as I could work out, was to run out with a bicycle pump and a bucket, and as soon as they went, action, the horse went, doing, and this bloke went... And this horse's penis just went just back in. And they'd go, right, cut, and then they'd go start again. They'd go, action, he'd go, doing...
Sorry,
And the horse, every single time he said action.
What's he doing with the bicycle
With
pump?
the bicycle pump?
Unerecting.
How do you unerect a...
Well, this is what I'm telling
It's
you.
a Welsh blowjob.
So
experienced
too
with this?
that would want the number of the trainer of the horse.
What would happen with the horse's penis would go like that, huge, and then this little man would run out, suck water up from the bucket into the pump, and then spray the horse's penis with cold water, basically, and then the penis would just sort of go back in. And then off they'd go, and then they'd go, right, action, out it would go again. The horse would go, dawing, back in.
Yeah, but I've met a lot of actors that do that.
Completely missed the other trainer who was behind the horse.
It's going very well.
Yes, it's going very well.
But now, but you, Tamsin, you were growing up. Who had the cat? Did your father have a cat? Or did you have the cat?
Yes, we grew up with lots and lots of cats. My dad collected a lot of stray cats, so we learned at a very early age how to kill fleas. They're really hard to kill.
Fingernails.
Fingernails?
Yeah, yeah.
You have to rip them
Cut
in
them in
half
half,
so
yeah.
that you see the blood. There's no point squishing them.
crack.
Yeah, there's a crack.
Yeah,
I hear
just
the crack.
pops, yeah. You know.
Would you like...
And also, if you want to link, if you like fleas, one of the stories in Tale of
Yes.
Tales
Oh, my God.
is the best flea story ever.
It's so
I mean,
bizarre.
no, it's like you're like,
It's
what
insane.
the hell? Yeah, anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
My dad had accidents as well with the cats. He was, he was slightly distracted most of his life. I think that's how he ended up with my mum. And, oh, well, don't know how that happened.
I know, yeah.
And he tumble-dryed one cat.
No, that's very bad,
Yeah, I went
Tamsin.
to-
It was a man in that age doing the washing. What more do you want?
But the cat can't have liked that, Tamsin, in any way.
They die.
It didn't die.
I know
Didn't
somebody
that
who
long.
did that and the cat died.
OK, well,
This one didn't die?
it didn't die. It was
Just
a
a
miracle.
Wow,
Maybe a better tumble dryer.
Yes. That would have been an American. That was an American tumble dryer. Our tumble dryers could be on for a year, and we'd still be on a wet sheet. Yeah, with the cat going, I'm a little warm, but not very. In America, it's like beef jerky by the time you get it out.
I had to hang this one up for half an hour on the line after.
Just in case, please don't try it.
No. Tamsin's father got away with it, but that's it.
Got away with murder. He didn't murder me, no. I don't know why I did that.
Now, Kelsey, you're working with a dog again. New movie that you and Tamsin are in.
Yes.
You had a dog called... Now, is the dog called Taxi always?
No, his
or
name's
just-
Taxi in the film. I don't know what his name is, actually.
Because Taxi is a good name for a dog.
Taxi was a great name. And
Yeah.
it worked well in the film because I say taxi and someone thinks I've called for a taxi on the other end of the phone. So, yes, it's a good name.
Tamsin, is that true or is that just a story? The people who had to look after the Christian dog.
Yes, I heard about... when you think about good names or bad names for dogs, Taxi's a good name something that you would shout... A word that you might shout out in public.
Yes.
And I heard of this Christian family who were very friendly with their neighbours who were not Christians. And the Christian family had a dog, and they secretly named it, knowing that they would be going away and that the family next door would be looking after it, and the dog was a bolter. It would go. So the family would look after it. So the Christian family called the dog Repent.
I think that's brilliant.
That is brilliant. Is that true?
Yeah.
So they had to be in the street going, repent.
But luckily, Repent! Come back, you
So, the new film is Breaking the Bank, and it's a proper British farce. I mean, it really is. It's like an Ealing comedy style.
Yeah, it's a beautiful mainstream comedy, which is a kind of love child of Trading Places and The Big Short. So at the heart of it, you've got a love story that breaks apart, but it's also a public service film about what shorting is. So it explains in a very beautifully comedic way about certain banking terms that none of us understand.
Because the writer, Roger Devlin, and because it's a really funny script, but he comes from the financial services area.
He is actually a banker, I suppose, yeah. And I think that's sort of a mea culpa kind of thing on his behalf. I think he wanted to try to say, gosh, I'm sorry we did this.
Well, how can I continue to make money out of it?
He's doing splendidly.
Yeah, I've been fired.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
he's
there was
also
a
now on
sense...
the board of the Football Association, so he really knows about...
How does Roger land on his feet in so
That's
many ways?
clearly got his next film. Now, fans, obviously, everyone has fans. And Kelsey, when you were filming here, you met if not your biggest fan, certainly one of your biggest fans.
Certainly one of the biggest fans I've ever had, yeah.
Because was she the girlfriend of someone who worked on the film?
The girlfriend of one of the prop guys, I think. It was one of the guys that was, helping. But I was introduced to her, and he said, "Do you mind saying hello to my girlfriend?" And I said, "Of course not." And he says she has a tattoo of you on her arm. And I said, "Huh. Okay. Well, all right." And then she explained to me that it was confusing for a lot of people because they would often ask her in a bar why she had a tattoo of Bill Clinton on her arm. And so I thought, how did they ever get Bill Clinton out of that? So I said, why don't I just sign it and you can have that tattooed in there? So that's what she finally did.
Wow. Salma, have you must have met people who have had you tattooed on them.
Actually, I have.
I knew you see.
This is more common than we think.
But the weirdest one was Danny Trejo. You know the actor Danny Trejo from all these action films. He was actually in prison for many years he's now an actor.
Yes.
And he's very famous. But before,
What's
he was in prison for many years for robbing banks. And in prison, he tattooed himself a huge tattoo of a woman here. And when he learned how to act in prison, and then when he got out of prison, he started working, and of course, he landed on the movie my first movie that I did. And when he saw me for the first time, they told me, "You're gonna meet this prisoner that is now an actor," and I was a little bit afraid. And when I saw him for the first time, he saw me, and he ran towards me and ripped his shirt off. And he said, "I knew you before I knew you. I dreamt you before I knew you." And sure enough, there was a picture of a woman that looks exactly like me. The body was a little bit better, but let's pretend. Exactly like me in his chest.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
That is very peculiar.
And he said, "I just got out of jail, and I'm happy, but for you, I would rob another bank." So that was the strangest tattoo.
That's a fan. Now, Rhod Gilbert, I know you have to do this because the last time you were here, you showed us your flaming Battenberg.
Yeah.
That's not a euphemism. That's an actual tattoo.
Do I need a bike pump?
But now you've added to your collection. Now the
I
flaming...
wouldn't call it a collection. That's a big word. I've got one more. But
So-
not through choice. I mean, well... I didn't want the first one, and I didn't want the second one either. So
why did you get the second one?
Well, I only got the first one because for a TV show, I did work experience, the show I do, Rhod Gilbert's work experience, so I try out different jobs. I was trying to be a tattooist, and the producer said, "Right, you've got to have a tattoo." And I said, "Don't want one. You've got to have one. We don't want one. We don't." Anyway, in the end, I went, "They're pointless." And to prove the point of they're pointless, I had the most pointless tattoo I could think of, which was a Battenberg on fire on a cushion, which I've got there. I'm very petty, and I wanted to win the argument, and I had to go, right, that showed them.
But Kelsey, you've got ink, haven't you?
Just a little one. I actually have my wife's name tattooed.
See, it's meaningful.
Yes. She asked me if I would ever actually do that, and I said, "Yeah, sure, of course
Is
I
she
would."
called Potato?
No, it's actually just her name, Kate.
Where is it?
Somewhere near,
This will give you... this is a picture of it being
Get that
done.
pump out,
It gives you an idea of where it might be.
God, it's internal.
Is it on your bicycle pump?
Talk about marking the territory.
I've never seen anyone look quite so relaxed having a tattoo. I'm sure that's a photo from a tattoo thing.
It was a bit scratchy, I thought, but I'd had a parrot for years, and he used to bite me all the time, and that was worse than this. So.
That is a part that needs rescuing.
Oh, hey, Rhod Gilbert, new TV series, and you are looking for the UK's best part-time band.
It's a catchy title.
Well, no, because I was saying part-time band. So I mean, is it as simple as that? Like a part-time band is just not a full-time band?
It is that. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. It's a lot more fun than the title sounds.
Yeah.
It was, as you saw from that picture, it's me, and then I go on tour basically. on the road for a week with Jazzy B from Soul to Soul, you know, back to life. A week with Peter Hook, Joy Division, New Order, and then a week with Midua. And we just look at part-time bands. So people who play music just for the love of it, as a passion, as a part-time thing, not their main source of income. And it's I think it's the most fun I've ever had. It's been a joy. It's been an absolute joy.
And on BBC Two, you know, for the final, what did they win?
Nothing. Yeah. It's BBC Two, mate.
It's still... it's still for the love of it.
Now we're in the green room with me.
Now, Kelsey, talking of singing, how did the singing lead to Sideshow Bob in Simpsons?
Well, Sam Simon, who created The Simpsons, was one of the writers on Cheers years ago, and as I do, as is my wont, I would walk onto the set sometimes, and I would usually sing, and he called me one afternoon and said, "Hey, do you still sing, Kels? You know, could you sing a Cole Porter song every time we say goodbye?" I said, "Yeah, of course I could. Yeah, I love that song." And he said, "Well, we've got this character who's never actually said anything on the show. He's Krusty the Clown's sideshow. We call him Sideshow Bob, and we want him to speak finally. And we thought you should do it. Can you sing this Cole Porter song?" I said, "I can certainly do that." And then I read the script, and it was actually really funny and wonderful. But he was very cultured. And I borrowed, at that time, it seemed like the opportunity. I had logged away a voice years ago when I worked for a man named Ellis Rabb, who had started a theater company in New York City, had great success. And when I was working for him, I was painting his bathroom and, you know, hanging wallpaper and stuff like that. I wasn't really a successful actor at the time. But Ellis would regale me with stories when he'd come home from work, always, and he would say things like this. He'd say, "Oh, Kelsey, that baby should have been mine." This guy, I'm going to use him someday. And when I read the script for Sideshow Bob, I said, "This is Ellis Rabb." And it went immediately into, "Oh, Bart, I just despise you."
It is time to meet our musical guest tonight. This lady burst onto the music scene 15 years ago with her incredible debut, Falling. Since then, she's won 15 Grammys and sold over 30 million records. Here, performing her new single, In Common, is the fabulous Alicia Keys. Just come and join me, dude. That's gorgeous. Thank you so much. Alicia Keys. Come and join the sofa.
It's sofa.
You sit there, my darling.
Hi.
It's Keys, it's Rhod, it's Tamsin, it's Kelsey, it's Salma.
Yeah, how you doing?
Go.
It's my baby.
Oh.
You too. This couch is funny. I was watching y'all.
Do you know each other, or is that just a
Yeah.
fan? Oh.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
But I am a fan.
Yeah, well, listen, we all are. Thank you very much. That single is out now, In Common. And, I mean, the voice is Alicia Keys, but the vibe is kind of different, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been feeling different. I've been feeling really connected to myself. I've just been feeling like being so good with being vulnerable and raw. The song itself says, you know, if you can love somebody like me, you must be messed up too. I feel like we're all works in progresses, and when we can admit that and just own that, you know, we set ourselves free. So I'm feeling good. It's summertime, and we're like...
It's very sexy. Very, very sexy.
It's feeling good. Thank you.
You know, it's a clubby, funky vibe. It's
I loved
nice.
it. I loved
It is. It's lovely.
How does it work? And we just buy that song right now and then...
And then the album will come later. Yes, you get this now so you can just live and vibe and feel the summer vibrations. And then when the album comes, you'll know, and then you go get it.
You're like teasing us.
A little tiny bit of foreplay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very Thank you very much, Alicia Keys. Very good. Okay. I think we've just got time. We've just got time for a very quick visit to the big red chair. So who do we find there? Hello.
Oh, he looks like he looks like the chair.
He dressed to match a chair.
Very
I
princess.
hope it wasn't a good... Wait, he can go... I tell you what, he can change his clothes and come back. Who's up next? Oh!
Yes! Yes, Graham.
He hasn't even taken his hat off.
Graham, you've dressed to match your chin, to be fair. Put it in the chat.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
That's your chin.
I was dressed.
Okay.
Okay, what's your name, sir?
My name is Pedro.
Okay, lovely, Pedro. Do you live here or somewhere else?
I live in London, but I'm from Mexico City originally.
More Spanish in the show.
Okay. You're cheering right
I
now.
hope the story is not about me.
You know it's gonna be. you know. Okay.
I met you before.
Off you go, Pedro.
So on weekends, my boyfriend and I run this Mexican street food stall at Sunday Up Market on Brick Lane. And we sell these Mexican flatbreads that are stuffed, that are called gorditas. And I'm sure Salma knows what gorditas are. Most people in London don't know. We're the first people here selling them. So we came up with the idea to try to yell out the name of our product like they do in the markets in Mexico to attract people. Unfortunately, what we didn't know was that at Sunday Up Market, it's very popular with Spanish tourists. And actually, gorditas, so the name of our product, in Spanish means little fat woman. So after an hour of yelling, gordita, 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 to people, we realized that it wasn't a good strategy because we're calling our customers fat and they weren't buying our food. So we didn't do it after that.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
I want the address where I can go buy the gorditas.
You'll get your gorditas. Well done, everyone. If you'd like to join us on the show and have a go in the red chair, you can contact us via our website at this very address. That is it for tonight. So please say a huge thank you to my guests, Alicia Keys, Mr. Rhod Gilbert, Tamsin Greig, Kelsey Grammer, and Salma Hayek. Do join me next week with music from Tom O'Dell, Aussie heartthrob Liam Hemsworth, Hollywood star Jeff Goldblum, and the mighty rock himself, Dwayne Johnson. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.